Nice to see you all again. My name's Paul, I blog as the Aperitif Guy, and I love to talk about food, drink, fine entertaining, all sorts of things. I thought today I'd show you what to do with an octopus. Octopus is one of my favourite seafood. It's got this beautiful, delicate, sweet flavour that goes really well with all my favourite white wines. So, one of the things that puts people off cooking octopus at home is they just simply don't know what to do with them. So I've been to the fishmonger this morning and bought an octopus. They're not expensive. This was about £15 per kilo. So this one, I would say, is probably about half a kilo in there. It says splashing water everywhere. Now I've given this a good rinse and a wash because very often they let out the ink. And you just get black everywhere. So I've given that a good rinse already in good clean, several bowlfuls of clean water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it round. I'm going to turn the body part inside out so I can get all the guts from inside it. Then I'm going to come back round. I'm going to cut out the eyes, 2 clean cuts there. And I'm going to take out the beak from the middle there, which is its mouth parts, and that will give me a nice clean whole octopus that I can use for cooking. So I've got my octopus, I've got a bowl for all the gubbins, and I have a very sharp knife. This is a filleting knife. It's light, extremely sharp blade that's ever so slightly flexible. You need your sharpest knife, and it needs to be small enough to cut with. And we're going to start by I've turned, if you like, turned the octopus the wrong way around so I can see inside her body, or his body, I'm not quite sure which. And if I just lift that to the camera, you can see that little isthmus of flesh that holds the insides to the out, and I'm going to just gently cut at that. And actually, if I've cut that well, it'll tear quite easily. Just pulling in gently at that flesh, and then when it stops, in I go again with the knife. And the idea is you're not wanting to take bold cuts at this stage. You're just nicking the membrane so that it'll pull quite easily, because it will pull apart in the right places. So I'm now going to cut that off there. There we go. And I should be able to gently turn that body inside out, just ever so gently. There we go. So all of this here is its various innards, and I don't want those. This back here is the flesh of the body that I do want. You can see there's an awful lot of ink floating around on there. We'll rinse that off when we've finished. So, same again with that knife. Just get in there and pull. Gently, gently, gently. You don't want to start opening up sacs of stomach and brain. Just pull them gently. There we go. Over the bowl there. Just pull in like that. And you can see I've got a loop of flesh here. So I'm going to separate that. There we go. And the same on that side. Just there. Finally, to separate the viscera here from the body flesh here, just get in there with your knife. So that's now separated from the body. I need to separate it from the other end here. Just one good cut, like that. Okay, so I've rinsed her off so that you can see the flesh better away from all of that ink, and I'm just trimming bits of membrane off the inside because we don't really need them. There we go. It's just a tidying job, really, that. You might sometimes get... it feels like a piece of plastic. It's not plastic, it is genuine. Oh, here we go, here's one. There we go. Sometimes get little pieces like that inside an octopus. Actually the bone that holds the body together. You only really get them in adults. So the next job is to take out the eyes. We've stretched out the octopus. There's the inside out body part. And what I'm wanting to do now, I'm going to cut here and here in a wedge shape to take those eyes out, because we don't want that. So my hand is going to get in the way a little bit while I hold it steady, but I'll try my best. And this is why you need a really sharp knife, because a sharp knife equals a clean cut. There we go. That's the eyes out. So now I'm going to take the beak. That's the underside of the beak. And what we do is we work it through from here. So the first thing I would say is push. Push your finger into that space there. And that just raises the beak out of its position. Now, really sharp pointy knife. And your finger is underneath, so be very careful. All I'm doing is just nicking the flesh. I'm not cutting hard. I just want to free up. Can you see how that's there? That flesh is opening up there under the pressure from my finger below. So it's nick and push. Nick and push. And that is going to come out in a second, I think. I'll just a couple more nicks at that side. I should be able to get that out. Oh, that's its beak. That's, if you like, its jaws that it eats with. Get rid of that. And then we can cut that last piece out. Quite easily. You'll notice I've taken my finger out now to why I'm cutting through. And with this knife, I certainly don't want it anywhere near my fingers. There we go. So, it no longer has any mouth parts, which are not pleasant to eat. It no longer has any eyes. It no longer has any insides. That is an octopus cleaned up and ready. Let's take it over to the stove. So I've got a big pan here, full of water, and in the water I've put a teaspoon of salt, a bay leaf, about a tablespoon of wine vinegar, and following the tradition, there's a wine cork in there as well. Graham, can you get the cork? This being Harrogate where I live, it's a champagne cork, of course. I'm not quite sure whether the cork does any good, but it's a traditional thing to add to it, to add to the water when you're boiling an octopus. It's said to make the octopus more tender. Now, what I'm going to do, before I drop it in, octopus needs about an hour and a half, 2 hours to cook. It's a tough old thing if you don't cook it slowly. But I'm going to just drop it in an inch at a time, for cosmetic reasons. An inch of the tentacle in and then out. And you can see those tentacles curl up. It does nothing in terms of cooking the fish, it just looks nice when you come to serve it. It's got nice curly tentacles. Look at that, aren't they lovely? first time I did this I was a bit squeamish and I held on to it by the body. And of course what happened is the body ripped off from the rest of the fish. So make sure you're holding it up here. There we go, I think that's coming close to done. Yeah, we can put that all in now. And we're going to boil that for an hour and a half, 2 hours.